Have you ever wondered why one of the most dangerous books of the Bible has been erased from history? The Book of Jubilees, a text so powerful, so radical, that it was not only left out of the Bible but also buried, lost to time. What if I told you that this ancient scroll contains secrets that could rewrite the history of creation, angels, and the very calendar that governs our lives? For centuries, the true story of creation and divine law was kept hidden, locked away in these forbidden pages. But why? Why did the church fathers, the early rabbis, and those in power deliberately silence a book that claims to be dictated by an angel of heaven? What if the truth is far different from what we've been told? In this video, we will uncover the mystery of the Book of Jubilees. We will reveal why it was rejected by religious authorities, the shocking secrets it unveils about the creation of the world, angels, and the cosmic calendar. You will understand why its teachings were seen as dangerous and why they might still shake your understanding of the Bible today. Could it be that the calendar we follow, the very festivals we celebrate, have been wrong all along? What if the Book of Jubilees reveals that our sacred holidays and the way we mark time are a distortion of the divine order? We will explore these powerful revelations together. But more than just exploring ancient texts, we'll ask, what happens when knowledge like this is suppressed? How does it change our understanding of heaven, angels, and our connection to the divine? This journey will challenge everything you thought you knew about sacred scripture. So, I invite you to join me as we delve into the mystery of the Book of Jubilees, and let's explore the truths that have been hidden for centuries. Comment below with your thoughts on this ancient text, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the secrets of our past. And why the Book of Jubilees matters. The Book of Jubilees is not just a forgotten text. It is a sacred account that has been suppressed and buried, yet its revelations hold profound power. The Book of Jubilees, often called the Lesser Genesis, tells the story of creation, law, and time from a divine perspective, but it does so in a way that challenges much of what we have come to understand about the Bible and the world itself. Imagine this for a moment. What if the story of Genesis, as we have known it, was incomplete? What if the details we thought were carved in stone, literally and figuratively, were only a fragment of a much larger, divinely woven narrative? What if there was more? The Book of Jubilees offers us that more. At its core, Jubilees reveals a timeline of creation, a divine calendar, and a new view of the cosmos. One where angels play active roles, and time itself is measured not by lunar cycles, but by the pure rhythm of celestial cycles. The calendar in Jubilees is not the one we follow today, nor the one practiced by the ancient Jews who followed the lunar system. Instead, it proposes a 364-day solar calendar. This alone has been enough to raise eyebrows and spark debates for centuries. Imagine if every single holy day, every festival, was meant to be observed on a different day, a day that is not shaped by human error, but by divine will. This is the kind of radical change that the Book of Jubilees brings to light. And it's a change that has had its roots hidden from us for far too long. This text was seen as a direct challenge to the religious and political power of its time. Why? Because the Book of Jubilees was not just another commentary on Genesis and Exodus. It claimed to be the real story, revealed by an angel to Moses on Mount Sinai, as Moses stood, not only receiving the 10 Commandments, but also uncovering deeper mysteries that would later be lost to time. The book gives us a glimpse into the heavenly tablets, divine scriptures believed to have been written by God himself, containing secrets and divine laws that no other scripture preserved. Why was it important then? And why is it still important today? Because the truth hidden in the Book of Jubilees challenges the authority of those who control the narrative. The angels that speak through the Book of Jubilees do not just recite history. They unveil the very structure of time itself. They reveal the true celestial calendar, one that is free from human manipulation, and one that claims that the festivals we observe today might be wrong. Think about the implications for a moment. If we lived in accordance with the calendar revealed in Jubilees, the rhythm of our days would align with the angels. Our sacred holidays, feasts, and Sabbaths would be synchronized with the divine order, not dictated by our earthly, often flawed understanding of time. This is not just a matter of theology, it's a matter of cosmic alignment. And for centuries, those in power feared that this alignment could unravel the foundation of their control. The rejection of the Book of Jubilees by early rabbis and church councils was not just about religious orthodoxy. It was about power and who had the right to shape the narrative of divine truth. By suppressing the Book of Jubilees, they ensured that their version of the divine order would be the one that ruled, regardless of whether it aligned with the heavenly blueprint. And yet, it is the Book of Jubilees that calls us to question. What if the story we've been told is not the whole truth? What if we've been living out of sync with the divine rhythm, unaware that a perfect, celestial calendar exists just beyond our reach? The history and mystical context of Jubilees. To truly understand the significance of the Book of Jubilees, we must first step into the history and context in which it was born. The story of this sacred text is not just one of religious importance. It is deeply tied to the political and social upheaval of its time. The Book of Jubilees emerged around 160 BCE, during a period of great tension in Judea, when the Jewish people were struggling to retain their independence under the Hasmonean dynasty. This was a time marked by revolt and the fight for religious and political autonomy, a time when Jewish traditions were being challenged by foreign influences, particularly those of Greek culture. The Hasmonean revolt was sparked by the oppressive reign of the Seleucid Empire, which sought to impose Hellenistic ways on the Jewish people. The Jewish people, in response, revolted to reclaim their sovereignty and their traditions. In this tumultuous period, new religious movements began to form, each struggling to define the true path for Israel. Among these movements were the Pharisees, who upheld the oral traditions, the Sadducees, who held firm to temple worship and priestly authority, and the Essenes, a group of mystics and ascetics who believed that mainstream Judaism had become corrupted by foreign influences and impure practices. It was within these isolated desert communities, like those at Qumran near the Dead Sea, that the Book of Jubilees found its home. The Essenes, with their strict observances and rejection of the temple priesthood, saw in Jubilees a divine affirmation of their beliefs. To them, the book was not merely a text. It was a prophetic manifesto that revealed the true calendar of God, a calendar that was not subject to human manipulation, but one that echoed the eternal rhythms of heaven. They believed that by following the 364-day calendar of Jubilees, they were walking in harmony with the angels and in line with the divine will, while the rest of the Jewish world remained out of sync with God's plan. For the Essenes, the Jewish temple in Jerusalem had become a place of corruption, where priests were more concerned with power and political gain than with true worship. They saw themselves as the true followers of the divine law, and the Book of Jubilees became their guide. It was a book that not only outlined the true history of the world, but also the path to spiritual purity, a path that required complete separation from the world around them. However, this was not a story that the ruling priesthood or the political authorities in Jerusalem wanted to be told. The Book of Jubilees challenged their authority, and it threatened the very foundation of the religious system that had been established. For the temple priests, the idea of a separate calendar, of a law revealed directly by angels, was dangerous. It suggested that their version of Judaism, with its lunar calendar and temple worship, was fundamentally flawed. And so, they silenced the Book of Jubilees, erasing it from the historical record, ensuring that it would not be passed down through generations. Yet despite the efforts to suppress it, the Book of Jubilees survived. It lay hidden in the caves of Qumran for centuries, preserved by those who understood its power and its truth. In 1947, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, the world was finally able to see this long-forgotten text. And with its discovery came a flood of questions that have yet to be answered. What is the true story of creation? What is the true nature of time? And what are the implications of the celestial calendar that Jubilees reveals? These are not just theological questions, they are existential ones. They challenge us to reconsider the very way we live our lives, the way we relate to the divine, and the way we understand our place in the cosmos. The Book of Jubilees forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the world and our faith. It dares us to question what we have been told and to seek the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface. And in doing so, it calls us to live in greater alignment with the divine order, just as the Essenes believed they were doing when they followed the teachings of this ancient text. As you reflect on these revelations, consider how they might change your own understanding of time, faith, and your relationship with the divine. The Book of Jubilees is not just an ancient text. It is a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe, a key that has been hidden from us for far too long. And now, as its secrets slowly come to light, we must decide how we will respond. Will we continue to walk in the shadows, or will we embrace the truth that has been waiting for us all along? Unexpected assertions and the sacred narrative. The Book of Jubilees is not just a recounting of events that occurred long ago. It is a bold, audacious retelling of the foundational stories of the Bible, presented in a way that shakes the very ground of what we believe. It does not merely echo the stories of Genesis and Exodus, it transforms them, making them more mystical, more revealing, and in some cases, more controversial. Jubilees offers a startling perspective on creation itself. The opening chapters are not just a recounting of God's work, but a description of a cosmic order that has been carefully hidden from the masses. In the Book of Jubilees, we see angels actively participating in the process of creation, a reality that is only hinted at in other scriptures. It speaks of the heavenly tablets on which God inscribed the laws and history of the world, tablets that Moses would later receive, but only a fragment of the full divine knowledge. The text reveals the names of angels and their roles in the formation of the world, with a level of detail that leaves us to wonder if the traditional biblical narratives, so familiar to us, are incomplete. Jubilees boldly asserts that time itself has a divine order, one that is far more precise and profound than we have been led to believe. It introduces the concept of Jubilees, a cycle of 49 years, which is the rhythm of divine time. The sacred festivals, it claims, should be observed according to this calendar, not the lunar one that had been adopted by the Jewish priests and later by Christian tradition. The implications are nothing short of earth-shattering. What if every single festival you have observed has been on the wrong day? What if the entire system of holy days that we've followed for centuries is a deviation from the divine order? The Book of Jubilees does not stop there. It also introduces the concept of a world that is not static, but constantly moving toward a cosmic goal. One where every act, every day, is a part of a divine plan that stretches out beyond human understanding. The text speaks of angels who oversee every aspect of creation, from the movements of the stars to the actions of humanity. In this vision, we are not alone in the universe. We are surrounded by a host of celestial beings who play an active role in shaping our world. But why did this text, which holds such powerful insights, not find its place in the Bible? Why was it discarded, left to gather dust in the hidden caves of Qumran? The answer lies in the radical nature of its claims. For the religious authorities of the time, the Book of Jubilees was too much. It was too detailed, too comprehensive, and most dangerously, it undermined the authority of those who controlled the religious narrative. The priests and religious leaders of the time saw the Book of Jubilees not as a complementary text, but as a challenge to their power. The divine calendar it espoused was not just an alternative. It was a direct accusation that the calendar they followed, which was based on lunar cycles, was wrong. And with that accusation came the ultimate threat. If they had gotten something as fundamental as the calendar wrong, what else had they gotten wrong? What other aspects of the sacred law had they misinterpreted or distorted? As this threat loomed, the religious authorities of both Judaism and Christianity acted swiftly to remove the Book of Jubilees from the accepted canon. The decision to exclude it was not one made by divine inspiration, but by human politics, by those in power who sought to protect their position. They did not want a text that questioned their authority, a text that proposed a different way of understanding time, creation, and the very structure of the world. The rejection of Jubilees is not just a historical event. It is a profound lesson in the intersection of faith and power. It shows us that sometimes the decisions about what we're allowed to read and believe are not always made out of divine guidance, but from human agendas. In the case of Jubilees, its rejection was about control, the control of the narrative, the control of the calendar, and ultimately, the control of the people's faith. But the book did not disappear entirely. It survived, hidden in the deserts of Qumran, waiting for the day when it would be rediscovered and its secrets brought to light. In 1947, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were uncovered, fragments of Jubilees were among the texts that had been preserved. The world was finally able to hear the voice of this forgotten scripture, but it was too late to change history. The religious authorities who had suppressed it were long gone, but the questions it raised still resonate today. The truth behind the suppression and the price paid. The suppression of the Book of Jubilees is not just a historical event. It is a stark reminder of the power of those who control religious narratives and the lengths they will go to protect their influence. What is truly unsettling about this suppression is not just the fact that it happened, but the reasons behind it. Why would a book, claimed to be dictated by angels and containing divine revelations, be hidden away from the world? What was so dangerous about it that those in power felt it necessary to erase it from the record? The Book of Jubilees wasn't simply rejected because it contained an alternate version of the creation story. It was rejected because it exposed the cracks in the carefully constructed facade of religious authority. The religious leaders who governed the faith of the people understood the power of time, of calendars, of holy days. To suggest that their system was flawed was to question the very foundation of their control. The Book of Jubilees revealed that time itself, the structure of the universe, and the divine calendar were not in their hands, but in the hands of the heavenly beings who had been present since the beginning of creation. The rejection of Jubilees wasn't just a theological decision, it was a political one. The religious authorities who excluded it from the canon knew that its teachings could destabilize their authority. If the people began to question the validity of the official calendar, they might begin to question other aspects of their faith. If the angels of Jubilees were indeed overseeing the world and recording human deeds, as the text suggests, then the priests and religious leaders could no longer claim to be the sole mediators between God and man. The religious institutions that had been built upon these structures of control could not afford such a disruption. This decision to suppress Jubilees, to bury its teachings and hide its revelations, came at a great cost. not only to the people who were denied access to its wisdom, but also to the religious leaders themselves. In their attempt to preserve their power, they lost something far more precious: the truth. The Book of Jubilees contains not just a different version of creation, but a deeper understanding of the divine order, one that connects the heavenly and earthly realms in a way that traditional scriptures do not. It reveals the angels as active participants in creation, not distant observers, and it presents a vision of the world that is far more complex and interconnected than we are often led to believe. By excluding the Book of Jubilees, the religious authorities erased a piece of divine knowledge from the world, and in doing so, they closed the door on a deeper, more profound understanding of the universe and our place within it. The suppression of this text is a powerful reminder of the cost of controlling knowledge and the dangers of allowing any one group to define what is true and what is not, but the truth cannot be fully suppressed. The fragments of Jubilees that were rediscovered in the caves of Qumran continue to speak to us, reminding us that the divine order is far greater than we can imagine, and that the answers to life's deepest questions may still be waiting for us in the hidden corners of history. The lesson of Jubilees is clear. Truth cannot be buried forever. It will rise again, and when it does, it will challenge everything we thought we knew. The core content: unique spiritual elements of the Book of Jubilees. The Book of Jubilees offers us a radically different view of the spiritual world, one that challenges the very foundations of what we have been taught about time, creation, and divine order. It invites us to see the universe not as a random collection of events, but as a divinely organized tapestry, meticulously designed by celestial beings and maintained by a divine law. This book reveals profound spiritual truths, presenting a vision of the world that is far more intricate and interconnected than we are accustomed to. In its telling of creation, Jubilees offers a story that goes far beyond the narrative we find in Genesis. Yes, it acknowledges the creation of the heavens and the earth, but it also provides a deeper, more mystical understanding of how these elements were brought into being. The creation of the world, according to Jubilees, is not merely an act of divine will, but an unfolding of a divine plan, one that has been meticulously recorded in the heavenly tablets. These tablets, according to the text, contain not just the history of creation, but the blueprint for the entire cosmos, revealing the intricate workings of the divine order that governs all things. One of the most striking elements of Jubilees is its portrayal of angels. Unlike in traditional scriptures, where angels are seen as passive messengers, the angels in Jubilees are active participants in creation. They are not simply serving as intermediaries between God and man. They are actively involved in shaping the world, guiding the creation of every aspect of the universe. This vision of angels as divine administrators, each with a specific role in the unfolding of God's plan, offers a new perspective on the spiritual realm, one that is both awe-inspiring and humbling. For instance, the Book of Jubilees reveals that it is angels who are responsible for overseeing the flow of time. They are the ones who guide the seasons, the months, and the years, ensuring that everything happens in its appointed time. Time, in the vision of Jubilees, is not a human construct, but a divine rhythm, one that aligns with the cycles of the heavenly bodies and the eternal laws of creation. This divine timing is reflected in the calendar of Jubilees, a 364-day solar year that mirrors the harmony of the cosmos. In many ways, this understanding of time and angels challenges our conventional view of the universe. We often think of time as something we control, something we measure with clocks and calendars, something that can be manipulated and divided. But in the Book of Jubilees, time is something sacred, something that flows in alignment with the heavens. The 364-day calendar, with its precision and order, is not a mere human invention. It is a divine gift, a glimpse into the celestial order that governs all of creation. The importance of this divine timing cannot be overstated. For the people who first embraced the teachings of Jubilees, the calendar was not just a tool for organizing their lives. It was a way of living in harmony with the divine will. The festivals and holy days that were observed according to this calendar were not simply rituals. They were moments of alignment with the divine order, times when the earthly and heavenly realms met in perfect harmony. These holy days were more than just commemorations. They were opportunities to partake in the divine rhythm of creation, to experience the sacred flow of time as it was meant to be. But perhaps the most profound spiritual lesson we can learn from the Book of Jubilees is the importance of maintaining purity and separation from the world. This theme runs throughout the text, from the laws governing marriage to the prohibitions on intermingling with foreign peoples. In Jubilees, the people of Israel are called to maintain their holiness, to separate themselves from the corruption of the world around them. This call to purity is not just a matter of ritual or tradition. It is a matter of spiritual survival. The Book of Jubilees teaches that the preservation of purity is essential to maintaining a connection with the divine. If the people of Israel were to stray from the laws of God, if they were to mingle with the unclean and the impure, they would risk severing their bond with the Creator. The message here is clear. In order to live in alignment with the divine order, we must resist the temptations and corruptions of the world. We must remain faithful to the laws of God, keeping ourselves separate from the influences that would lead us astray. This theme of purity is deeply connected to the broader spiritual vision of Jubilees. For the text is not just concerned with laws and rituals, it is concerned with the spiritual state of the people. The call to purity is a call to spiritual awakening, a reminder that in order to walk in harmony with the divine, we must first purify our hearts and minds. This is not a call to isolation or self-righteousness, but to a deeper relationship with the Creator, one that requires us to turn away from the distractions and distortions of the world. In many ways, the message of Jubilees is a message of renewal and healing. It calls us to restore the divine order in our lives, to align ourselves with the cosmic rhythms that govern the universe. And it offers us a path to do so, through the observance of sacred times, the maintenance of purity, and the recognition of the angels who guide and protect us. By embracing these teachings, we are invited to step into a deeper connection with the divine, to experience the world as it was always meant to be, a world in perfect harmony with the Creator. As we explore these sacred teachings, we are also reminded of the importance of community. The Book of Jubilees speaks not just to individuals, but to the people of Israel as a whole. It is a call for collective purification, a reminder that we are all interconnected, that our actions affect the spiritual health of the entire community. This communal aspect of spirituality is a vital part of the message of Jubilees. It is not enough to seek purity and alignment with the divine on our own. We must also work together as a people, supporting and encouraging one another in our shared journey towards spiritual wholeness. The spiritual elements of the Book of Jubilees invite us to reimagine the world and our place within it. They challenge us to see time as sacred, to recognize the presence of angels in our lives, and to uphold the purity and holiness that God has called us to. These teachings offer us a path to spiritual renewal, to healing, and to a deeper connection with the Creator. The Book of Jubilees reminds us that the divine order is not distant or unattainable. It is here, among us, waiting to be discovered and embraced. And as we align ourselves with this order, we open ourselves to the transformative power of God's love and grace, inviting healing into our lives and into the world around us. By reflecting on these profound spiritual elements, we are encouraged to live in harmony with the divine rhythms of creation. We are invited to let go of the distractions and distortions that keep us from seeing the world as it truly is, a sacred, interconnected whole. And in doing so, we can begin to experience the peace and fulfillment that come from living in alignment with the Creator's will. The Book of Jubilees is not just an ancient text. It is a living guide to spiritual awakening, a blueprint for healing, and a reminder of the divine presence that surrounds us every day. Finally, the secrets that remain. The Book of Jubilees is more than an ancient text. It is a door, a gateway into the mysteries of the universe, sealed away for centuries. And as we stand on the threshold, the secrets it holds are waiting to be revealed, calling out to us with a voice that transcends time, beckoning us to see the world in a way that we have never seen before. But what is it about this forgotten scripture that continues to stir something deep within our hearts? Why do the mysteries of Jubilees still matter today, in a world so different from the one it was first revealed to? Jubilees is not just a story of creation and divine law. It is a map of spiritual truth, a blueprint of the divine order that has been carefully hidden from the world. It speaks of heavenly tablets, divine angels, and a sacred calendar that aligns us with the very rhythm of the universe. This is not just ancient history. This is a vision of how things were meant to be. A divine plan that stretches from the beginning of time and carries with it profound lessons for us today. But what happens when those lessons are lost? What happens when the truth is buried so deep that even those who seek it may never find it? As we delve deeper into the secrets of Jubilees, we are confronted with the realization that the true knowledge of the world, of our place in it, and our relationship to the divine, is more intricate, more profound, and more interconnected than we have ever imagined. The book unveils a world that is governed not by chance or randomness, but by divine order, an order that was set in motion at the beginning of creation. In this world, angels are not passive observers, but active participants in the unfolding of God's plan. Time is not something that we control, but something that flows in harmony with the celestial rhythm. And the festivals, the holy days that we observe, are not merely cultural practices, but sacred moments that connect us to the divine. But as we stand on the precipice of this new understanding, we must also face the question, why was this knowledge hidden? Why was it concealed from the people of Israel, from the early Christians, and from generations of believers? The answer, as we have seen, is not just about theology. It is about power. The Book of Jubilees, with its divine revelations and celestial calendar, posed a direct challenge to the authority of the religious leaders of the time. It questioned their control over the calendar, over the festivals, and over the very narrative of creation itself. And for those in power, that was a threat too great to ignore. The decision to suppress Jubilees was not made out of a desire to protect the faith, but to protect the power structures that had been built around it. By erasing the book from the canon, those in power ensured that their version of the story, their version of time, creation, and divine law, remained the one that people would follow. But in doing so, they robbed the people of a deeper, more profound understanding of the world and their place in it. They denied us the opportunity to walk in harmony with the divine order, to live in alignment with the heavenly rhythm that governs all things. And yet, despite these efforts to suppress it, the Book of Jubilees has survived. It was hidden away, buried in the deserts of Qumran, waiting for the moment when it would be rediscovered. And in 1947, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were uncovered, a fragment of Jubilees emerged from the dust, its secrets now open to the world once more. But even then, the full extent of its teachings remains largely unknown to the masses. We have only begun to scratch the surface of what this ancient text has to offer. What does this mean for us today? Why should we care about a book that was excluded from the Bible so many centuries ago? The answer lies in the very nature of the secrets it holds. The Book of Jubilees offers us a vision of the world that is radically different from the one we have inherited. It presents a world where time is sacred, where angels are actively involved in our lives, and where our connection to the divine is not distant or abstract, but deeply personal and immediate. The calendar, the festivals, and the holy days that we observe are not just traditions. They are moments of alignment with the divine order, opportunities to experience the sacred rhythm of the universe. For many of us, these truths remain hidden. We are caught up in the busyness of life, following the rhythms of the world around us, unaware that we are out of sync with the divine rhythm that governs the cosmos. The teachings of Jubilees remind us that there is a deeper order, a divine timing that we are called to live in harmony with. It challenges us to reconsider how we live our lives, how we mark time, and how we relate to the divine. But the lessons of Jubilees are not just for the ancient world. They are for us, here and now. They invite us to look beyond the surface of our lives, to seek a deeper connection with the divine, and to recognize the sacredness of time itself. It is a call to align our lives with the divine order, to embrace the sacred rhythm that flows through all things, and to live with a sense of purpose and meaning that transcends the mundane. At the heart of Jubilees lies a powerful truth. We are not alone in the universe. We are surrounded by a host of angels, celestial beings, who are actively involved in the unfolding of God's plan. They are with us, guiding us, protecting us, and helping us to live in harmony with the divine will. The spiritual world is not distant or inaccessible. It is here, all around us, and the Book of Jubilees invites us to open our eyes to this reality. But as we reflect on these profound teachings, we must also acknowledge the cost of their suppression. The decision to exclude the Book of Jubilees from the Bible was not just a theological error. It was a loss of spiritual knowledge, a loss of connection to the divine order that governs the world. And as we rediscover this knowledge, we must ask ourselves, what have we been missing? What truths have we been denied? And how can we now live in alignment with the divine order that was always meant for us? The secrets of Jubilees are not just about ancient history, they are about the here and now. They challenge us to reconsider how we live, how we observe time, and how we connect with the divine. They offer us a vision of the world that is far more profound and interconnected than we have been led to believe, and they call us to step into that vision, to embrace the divine order, and to live in harmony with the cosmic rhythm that governs all things. In the end, the story of Jubilees is not just the story of a book. It is the story of a truth that has been hidden, a truth that has been waiting for us to discover. And now, as the book resurfaces, its secrets are slowly being revealed, inviting us to live in greater alignment with the divine, to embrace the sacredness of time, and to step into the fullness of our spiritual potential. The mysteries of Jubilees are not just for the ancient world, they are for us, here and now, and they hold the key to a deeper, more fulfilling connection with the divine. As we come to the end of this journey through the ancient mysteries of the Book of Jubilees, I want to leave you with something to carry in your heart. We've ventured deep into a narrative that challenges everything we thought we knew about creation, about time, and about our connection to the divine. This book, hidden away for centuries, has re-emerged to offer us a deeper understanding of the world around us. It has given us a vision of life that stretches beyond the surface, a vision where angels guide the rhythms of creation, and where the true essence of time reveals a divine order we have long forgotten. There is something profoundly beautiful in the way Jubilees speaks to us. It's not just about ancient texts or forgotten scriptures. It's about the spiritual awakening that these hidden truths can ignite within us. The Book of Jubilees is a gift, not just to the scholars or the religious leaders, but to all of us. It's a message that calls us to realign ourselves with the divine order, to recognize that the sacred rhythm of the universe is not something distant or unattainable, but something that we are invited to live in harmony with every day. The time we spend, the festivals we observe, the choices we make, they are all part of a divine dance, one that connects us to the Creator and to each other in ways we may never have fully understood until now. As you reflect on these profound teachings, I hope you feel a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. Maybe some of you have felt lost or disconnected, unsure of your place in the vastness of the universe. Maybe others have been struggling to see the divine order in the chaos of everyday life. But through the lens of Jubilees, we see that there is a deeper meaning to everything. Every moment, every act, and every interaction holds the potential to align us with the divine flow of time. And when we do that, when we walk in harmony with the sacred rhythms of creation, life becomes richer, more meaningful, and more connected. This is not just about looking back at an ancient text. It's about moving forward, guided by the light that has been brought to us through these revelations. Just as the people of the past were given the Book of Jubilees to help them find their way, we are now offered the same wisdom to guide us in our journey today. The challenge, however, lies in how we choose to respond to this invitation. Will we take this knowledge and allow it to change us? Will we align ourselves with the divine calendar, with the sacred rhythms of the universe? Will we live in a way that honors the angels who walk beside us, guiding our every step? I hope this video has touched something deep within your spirit. If it has, and if you feel that these words have brought you a little closer to understanding your place in this grand, divine plan, then I ask you to support this channel with a simple act of kindness. It's not about money or material gain, but about the energy we share. If you found light in these words, if this message has brought peace to your heart, then your support, your like, your subscription helps keep this light shining, not just for you, but for others who may need it too. Every word, every video, every message is a step toward healing and understanding, and I can only continue sharing if I have your support. The truth is, sharing these spiritual teachings is a labor of love, a love for the divine, for the truth, and for the souls seeking it. Every little bit of energy you give, every moment you spend watching, commenting, or sharing helps spread this message further. If you feel moved by the story of Jubilees, if you feel that this message has brought you closer to your purpose, then I invite you to join me in spreading that light. We are all part of a divine plan, and together we can bring healing and understanding to the world, one soul at a time. If you felt inspired by the deep wisdom of the Book of Jubilees, I encourage you to reflect on what it means for your life. How does it change the way you view time, creation, and the divine order? Are there areas in your life where you feel out of sync with the sacred rhythm of the universe? Perhaps this is your invitation to realign, to seek the divine flow, and to live with greater awareness and intention. I encourage you to comment below and share your thoughts. What has the Book of Jubilees revealed to you? What parts of its message resonate most deeply with you? Is there something that you now see differently? Your insights can help others see the truth more clearly, and together we can continue to learn from the ancient wisdom that has been waiting for us. In the end, the journey we have taken through the Book of Jubilees is not just about uncovering forgotten truths. It's about reclaiming our connection to the divine. It's about finding peace, healing, and purpose in the rhythms of creation. And it's about living in a way that honors the sacredness of time, the angels, and the divine will. So, if this video has helped you find even a small piece of that peace, I ask you to share this light with others. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment to let me know how this message has touched your heart. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being part of this journey with me. Your support, your energy, and your willingness to embrace these divine truths mean more than words can express. Together, we will continue to seek, to learn, and to share the wisdom that can heal our souls and guide us toward a greater understanding of the divine. Let us walk this path together, with open hearts and open minds, ready to live in harmony with the sacred rhythms of the universe.